Welcome to the Rookie Guy English podcast, where I speak English as a non-native person. And yeah, so in previous two podcasts, you can see that uh, in the very first podcast, I just shared about tenses that if you want to speak English as a beginner, so which five tenses you have, if you must have to know, and I have shared with some examples. And in the last one, I shared that how can you get fluency, and yeah, it's like that. You can understand English, you can understand everything, but when it comes to speak, the time you cannot speak, your mouth feels like shut, and sometimes you mumbling so much just because you don't practice, you don't speak. And that's why I share some methods that how can you get fluency day by day. Like if you just follow that method, or yeah, not that I shared a bunch of methods in there. If you just try to follow, I believe that in just 1 month, and after 1 month, wait, it's just and yeah, so there is a condition, and the condition is you have to speak, you have to do practice every day. If it's only for just 5 to 10 minutes, doesn't problem, but you have to practice every day. You cannot break consistency. So it's you don't break consistency. After 1 month, you can see that you are speaking well, and if your basic is good, then you would be almost fluent, and almost fluent like other person, that how they speak. Okay, so guys, so today we are going to discuss that how listening can help your English or your any kind of linguistic skills. Like if you want to learn Spanish or German or any kind of language, listening is the key factor, and is the is the main point, like when I started listening, and from that time I just noticed that automatically my brain is delivering a bunch of words, sentences, structure without any kind of hesitation. When I'm trying to speak, it's coming like smooth. It's very fluid. It's coming like very fluid. Okay, so just think that when you was kid, and when you was baby, basically not kid, you was baby, you was could be like 6 months, or the time you listened a lot. You had took you had taken a bunch of words, sentences, though you couldn't understand that what is the meaning of this. Like when your father were coming to you, and when your father was coming to you and said that, say papa, dad, or daddy, or father, or it could be anything, or in the same things for your mother or siblings or relatives. And the time you had taken a bunch of structures, words, and also in the same time tenses. Okay, so from that time, when you could be like nearly 2 years old, or it's a very, for every baby or every person, that when they started to speak English, of course at that time they were baby, definitely. So I was also, and you were, and everyone. So yeah, so that time you was just trying to speak to your father or your mother, that and you were just tried to call, hey papa, or dad, or daddy, or mother, mom, mammy. It could be anything. So that's the way people understand, people can learn languages. So yeah, if you just listen for initial time, you cannot understand that what is the meaning of this, but after sometimes you can guess or you can speculate that yeah, it could be this or it could be that. And when you just memorized the words, sentences, structures in your brain, it could be automatically, or sometimes you can memorize. And then if you just try to find out that what is the meaning of this, so that time, that means you learned that sentences, words, or structure properly. So this is how a language works. And for me, when I started listening, yeah, I have shared before that when I started listening, my brain is getting clear. And in the same time, when basically I'll have to watch British people podcast or British podcast. So when I try to listen more and more, then I just surprisingly found it that wait, I'm getting fluency. And when I'm speaking, it's I'm not mumbling before or compared to that time. And in the same time, I just listened, and except this, I didn't practice a lot and how I get fluency. And when I try to speak those words or sentences, sometimes it's like some influence from those podcasts. Like when I try to speak a words, and my brain is saved that what is the correct pronunciation of that words, and when I try to speak, automatically it's coming like the same. I mean, like the same. So this is how listening works. So yeah, if you want to improve your language and English, especially English, because most of the people want to learn English first because it is an international language, and also it is very important. And if you can speak in English, that means uh, you are already prospered in your life, and you can get more benefits, and you can connect, contact, or make any conversation around the world with any kind of people who know English. And surprisingly, fortunately, most of the people now can speak English. And yeah, I'm not saying that everyone is advanced or everyone has a good amount of skills or good amounts of words or good amounts of English, but they can speak, and you can just communicate with them at least in chat box, right? So yeah, this is how listening works. And yeah, like you are also listening in the same time you are listening my conversation and what I'm saying to you. If you just listen my podcast regularly, you can get influenced by me, and also you can speak, and your brain would be clear. Or like I'm using many kind of structures or vocabs and grammars. Yeah, though grammars is included in my structures or my sentences. So if you just try to listen, if you listen regularly, you would be get benefit. Definitely, definitely, you will get benefit. Yeah. So I think this podcast is helping you. And if you have any kind of comments that how I can improve and which things I should implement on this podcast, I will definitely try to implement if I can then. Wait. So yeah, that's it. So I think before say shout out, I think I have to say that please, please listen more. If you are walking on the road, put your earbuds, and just start podcast. I'm not saying that you have to speak sorry, you have to listen my podcast. You can listen anyone, any kind of English, no problem, but you have to listen. And after that, you can see that you are getting a bunch of improvements. So yeah, that's it. And um it would be the podcast or episode number 3, and in episode number 4 I will talk some more techniques, and yeah, definitely I will gossip with you guys. So till then, take care.